Hi, my name is Linda Hochstetler. I'm a social worker and psychotherapist. I come to you today wearing my social worker and psychotherapist hat. I've been releasing YouTube videos for the last 8 months wearing literally my spiritual teacher hat. You may have noticed the red hat and the robes are gone today. And for the next little while, I'm going to wear my psychotherapy and social work hat, and I'm going to bring you some of the ideas that have been culminating in my mind as I think about how I do psychotherapy and social work. So I graduated. I'll go back to the beginning. I graduated from the University of Toronto in the Master of Social Work degree program. I graduated more than 30 years ago, and I've been working with clients ever since, listening, speaking with, and accompanying clients on their journey of life. This has been incredibly rich and rewarding for me. I love every day that I spend with clients. I'm so honored to be alongside of them, helping them, assisting them, answering their questions, and guiding them through life. I spent the first 8 years of my career working as a group therapist, running mental health support groups in the Jane Finch area. For those of you who don't know, Jane Finch is a high needs area in Toronto, and ran a lot of groups and offered a lot of individual support to women for a number of years. And then I moved on to another program and spent 13 years as a clinical manager at an employee assistance program. And in this role, I did a lot of supervising, I did a lot of mentoring, and I was able to supervise a team of approximately 20 on site, but hundreds more therapists across the country offering social work and therapy services. I trained in critical incident response and offered hundreds, thousands, I don't know. I think I personally offered hundreds of critical incident responses to companies, corporate clients, agencies, also a lot of municipalities, City of Toronto situations. And I went on site whenever there were fatalities or other traumatic or really seriously upsetting and disturbing events on site at these companies. And my job was to do grief counseling if there were fatalities, but it was also to support the workers and also the leaders in these traumatic times. I really fell in love with clinical supervision at this time, and I've carried this in my heart ever since. I have been mentoring new grads, new therapists, and supervising their work clinically for more than 20 years. And I love this aspect of my work. Truly, in my 20 plus years of clinical supervision, I have seen and heard just about any kind of problem that can exist, any kind of crisis, any kind of complication. One of the things I really liked about my EAP experience is that it is so broad, it is so vast, you never know what's going to happen. It's really a slice of everyday life in that whether it's about issues in the workplace, whether it's at home, whether it's about drug and alcohol, any of the mental health issues, workplace violence, bullying, childhood trauma. It's just the whole wide variety of situations that cause people to come to therapy and to be in need and to need healing. And so I've really enjoyed offering a lot of this kind of support directly myself, and also supervising other therapists and social workers as they offer this as well to their clients. I then moved on and have really spent the last 10 years working in palliative care and end of life. This is, again, another passion of mine. People who know me well know I never tire of talking about illness, dying, and death. And I trained, I volunteered, and then eventually worked in a variety of settings. I worked in home care. I worked at Princess Margaret Cancer Center, long-term care homes, community and residential hospices, and just all different kinds of companies. I did trainings. I trained volunteers as well as staff and boards, and helped them understand the stages of dying and death. I supported individuals and families to navigate the system of healthcare and dying as it exists in Canada. And this is super important, not just at end of life, but to really move backwards up the road to illnesses and diagnoses and all of the treatment stages and decision that families as well as individuals will make as they sift through the options and make the best options possible as they deal with the healthcare system. In 2014, I set up a private practice and have been working ever since. I'm full-time in private practice, and I see a wide variety of people. I love my clients dearly. I show up every day loving my job. And in the pandemic, when things went on pause for a short time, I immediately decided it was the right time to write a book. And I wrote a book and then published it in 2021. And this book is my first book, called 21 Days to Die, The Canadian Guide to End of Life. It was published by Sumeru Publishing Books, and they were extremely supportive and helpful as I wrote this first book. And now I prepare to write a second book. And the second book will be wearing my therapy hat and talking about all the things I've learned as a therapist. And I hope to produce a number of YouTube videos over the next little while, and we'll be shifting my focus to these videos that are aimed at clients, possibly new therapists, and they help to show the way that I have listened and learned from my clients, and the way I see the world, and the way that I have been able to bring in training or things I've learned in trainings, also various ideas that you might have heard of and you're not quite sure how they tie into real life. And I'll be bringing a lot of examples and bringing ways that therapy is like the rubber hitting the road of this is what I say, and this is what clients say to me. And the next number of videos will be actually taking a look at some of these different issues and some of these different things that I repeat over and over again, session after session, to various different people. And they really describe what I have learned to bring to clients, to bring healing, to bring new ways of seeing their lives, and hopefully helping all of these clients who I care for so dearly and really want things to be better for each and every one of them. They bring this way of seeing the world. It's a really developmental framework, as you'll learn, and it's a framework that I hope to share, because if you can understand the framework, you can work towards it. You can understand why it didn't happen in your own childhood, as it hasn't happened in many people's childhoods. And instead, it's an opportunity to always hope for change and always imagine that there is a brighter future ahead, and there is a possibility of healing, and there is a possibility of change in your being, and you can always develop new patterns that until your last breath, you can develop new patterns for your own life, and you can eventually live the life that you want to live.